welcome everybody. I'm Julie Collins and I am the Vice President of Practice Excellence at CWLA, and I'm also a BBI Consultant. And joining me is Pat Mosby, who is a family member, a family support specialist, but also a BBI Consultant. And we're going to be talking about the Families First Prevention Services Act, although you'll be hearing us use language of families first. So let me turn to Pat, and I'm going to ask her what she sees as being some of the main components or focus of Families First that you think are critical for folks to know about related to residential interventions.
Well, thank you, Julie, for asking me, because I really think involving families and youth really matters, and that you really can't do this successfully unless you involve them and partner with them. This module and the rest of the toolkit is really relevant for any provider of a residential intervention, no matter what system they are and how they're being funded. So I really feel in order to make a paradigm shift in this whole industry, the strategies are laid out in the Family First Engagement module, and that will be particularly interesting and helpful for those that are looking at this toolkit. So let me ask you, Julie, because you are the expert, what do you think people should focus on?
There's a few things that I think are critical related to this legislation. So the first is that it really got it right in terms of focusing on the families. As you pointed out, its main piece or the main component or focus is family engagement. And as we think about this new service that's called the Qualified Residential Treatment Programs, or QRTP, that you'll find much more information about as you look at the written materials and read the rest of this module. But some of the key components is related to the families engagement that I think is really critical that's embedded in that service is the facilitating the outreach to the families and maintaining the contact with them, but not just the direct family, but also the kin and the fictive kin and whatever the family and youth call as kin. So really making sure that they're having that component of it, that they're documenting how the family is really integrated into the treatment planning process and the post-discharge aspect of it, as well as how the siblings are involved because they often get forgotten about. So another component of it is that they really provide and deliver discharge and family-based aftercare. So not just any kind of aftercare, but really family-based aftercare. And then the last one is that they really facilitate family involvement in the treatment process as it is appropriate, of course, because in child welfare, sometimes that is not deemed appropriate. But really as best they can to really do that. And so much of what's sitting in this toolkit, as you have already referenced, is really related to the family engagement and could really be helpful to folks in doing it. But the other part that I'd emphasize a little bit more is related to the aftercare component of it. So this legislation put this service in as an expectation of the residential providers or the QRTPs. And that has not really been an expectation heretofore. So it's really critical because we know this service makes a difference, right? That we see shorter lengths of time in a residential intervention, and we really see families being given the tools and the skills that they need so that they can be successful as well as the youth returns to live at home. So really key component of it. And the other part that the Families First got right is that it included the funding to support the providers really doing that. And that had not really been available either as well. So in addition to this wonderful module and all the written materials that you have access to, that could give you a much more in-depth understanding of Families First, and in particular the QRTP, we'll also encourage you to look at the family engagement related pieces of the toolkit, as well as the aftercare component of it, to really get more of those hand-on strategies and resources and tools so that you can really be successful at doing this work. So I want to thank Pat again for her sharing her wonderful wisdom and being present with me as part of this
Thank
brief
you,
little
Julie.
video. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you. And we thank you for listening, for taking the effort and going and reading all the really good materials, and for your effort to really improve the services to have better quality programming for the youth and the families, which they really deserve. So thanks to all of you.